Just Paul Brown Stadium. Just like you said, I'm a hard 513 Bengal fan, but you about to trample all over me, sacks and all that. Nah, sprinkle me in the ocean.
All right. Big, you had some deep sea fishing, catch a big marlin.
No, man, bury me in butt. I'm serious.
All right, well, there we go. We got two non-sports venue answers, so.
Quarterback is literally the most important position.
I understand
But
that.
he's not sold on Russ, so why aren't you sold on Russ? Tell me that. Last 2 years?
Is it because of
Man.
Pete Carroll?
I mean, it
He's
hasn't
been-
been.
he's
He got us
slumping.
thinking DK really that dude.
Russ has not looked like
I
himself
think he
for the last 3
relied
seasons.
more on that Legion of Boom defense, and then he's going to do the same
early
thing here
on,
in
of
Denver.
course.
What has he done with what Tyler Lockett? Like, I mean, what has he really done
People
to
know who Tyler
solidify
Lockett is
himself?
because of us.
I'm not sold on, man. I mean, y'all want to go high
I
on
mean, he
Russ?
made the playoffs his first 8 years in a row. He won, 10 games a season every year for the first 6, 7 seasons or something, like things that
He's a
nobody's
winner,
ever
man.
done. Welcome to That's Debatable, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. As always, my name is Ryan Dietrich, here with my guys, Jeremiah Bays and Will Ward. Live from Columbus, Ohio, the Yamo Media Columbus Studios. Also, our guy, A.D. Adam Dell, behind the desk, helping us get this thing off the ground. It was a nice, cool Wednesday here today, actually. A little break in the heat. It's NFC South preview time tonight. We're also going to catch up a little bit on the WNBA as they start the playoffs next Wednesday. And a little bit update on KD and the KD drama, the KD saga of the summer of 22.
Still going.
That just, he keeps that thing alive. He's got a lot of willpower to keep it going. But anyway, it's NFL time. Hey, tomorrow night there's a preseason game. And then over the weekend, too. So officially the first weekend of preseason in the NFL. They had the Hall of Fame game last week. Did you guys watch any of that? Raiders and Jags.
Caught a little bit of it. Raiders one was like 18-7 or something like that.
It was total points was 38. I don't remember what the total was.
Yeah, it wasn't
24, 9.
18-11.
There you go, 19. Yep. There you go.
Start
I
off
think
with that
that's right.
rain delay, and it took forever for the game to start, which kind of threw everything off. But none of the starters really play. I seen Josh Jacobs start for the Raiders. Other than that, it wasn't none of the normal starters, which you're going to expect that for most of the games for week one of the preseason.
Right. Yeah, hopefully see a little bit more of the first team this weekend with Hall of Fame game. Not too big of a Hall of Fame crowd or induction class, I guess. Not a lot of names. Tony Baselli.
Next year's is the one.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of big names. Devin Hester, Darrell Revis.
Oh,
There's
wow.
a lot of big names involved in next year's finalists, so we'll see
All right.
who gets in next year. And that's the one that's really going to be a lot of, at least my childhood, those players are getting introduced and inducted, I should say, into that class.
Right. That's
2023.
That's another thing. This was, some old names, some old guys, from before our time from seeing anything. So, but anyway, speaking of Hall of Famers in the NFC South, Tom Brady comes to mind. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were the division champs last year, finished 13-4. Lost in that epic divisional round game to the Rams in the playoffs.
Can't let Cooper Kupp get behind you, man.
Dude, hey.
But the comeback was crazy. The comeback was very GOAT-like.
That was, exactly. And they just gave him another opportunity. That's, one of those candidates for best game of the year last year, right up there with the Bills and the Chiefs. So, NFC South preview. Who you guys got winning the South? Let's start with there.
I mean, that might be
any surprises?
I think the Panthers come in second in the division.
All right. You got anybody besides the Bucks? I mean,
Nah. I mean,
barring any
injuries.
Right.
It may be a surprise, but
Hell.
the Bucks.
What record? What do you got them finishing at?
The Bucks?
Yeah.
11-6, straight off of the top.
That's what I got too. How'd you come about that? I mean, I didn't figure they'd go 13-4 again like last year.
I mean, if you look at the NFC South schedule, they got one of the toughest schedules. In the top 10, you got 3 teams in the top 10 of the strength of schedules, and the Panthers going in at number 12. So all of your teams is going to be a tough schedule. But you see right here with Tampa Bay, they got a lot of tough games. One of the ones that I had circled on was, of course, the Rams. But I got them losing to the Saints. I think they're going to split with them. They're going to lose to Baltimore. Of course, like I just said, the Rams. The Browns, I think they can have those defensive ends the Browns got. Cincinnati, you bring that team down there to play those boys. And surprisingly, they may lose to Atlanta. I think they may sit most of the starters that last game. But It's going to be tough. You bring in Julio Jones to team him up with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. There you see Wager Street. They got them winning the NFC South easily.
Odds-on favorites, so you got to wager $300 to win 100. So not good money there. But, take a flyer on the Saints, Panthers, Falcons. I mean, at plus 360, plus 1,000. You bet
to win it? No, they're not winning it.
But, hey, man, anything in the NFL happens. You know how that goes. Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a new head coach, Todd Bowles. Chris Godwin tore his ACL last December, so he's going to be –
But he's on track to play.
He returned to practice. It's going to be a while, though. I mean, coming out week 1, that's high aspirations and possibly can't get done.
They wouldn't need him for week 1.
I mean, so anyway – you never know what's going into the season, man. Anything can happen.
Fat Lenny.
That's the beauty of it, and that's the beauty of when you're chasing bets like that. I don't like to take Tampa Bay at minus 300, just because it's not good money. I got to throw $30 to try and win 10. But odds are something crazy happens. You're getting good money there with the Saints at 360. So,
and a lot of people
that's
like
where
the
it's
Saints.
at. And let's talk about the Saints. I got them finishing second.
Oh, y'all had them at what win? 11?
Yes, I had them at 11-6 as well.
I mean, from what I'm looking at, I couldn't really find too much. I got them at 14-3. I got them 1 win better than last year.
Nice.
Not 7-0 all the way up into that Baltimore-LA. Baltimore in that LA game is back-to-back. I think they might actually lose back-to-back games right there. And
we're still on Tampa, sorry.
I think going into their bye week against Seattle, that's when they get back on track. Come out, beat Cleveland, beat New Orleans, lose to San Fran. At the end, they finish out the season strong. So right now, I really going to see three losses, like on paper. Now anything can happen on the football field, but I think with the acquisition of Julio, a new offense. Who was their head coach last year? The guy. What's the dude's name?
Bruce Arians.
Yeah, Bruce Arians. With him out, with him not, poo-pooing on Tom Brady's and Byron Leftwich's game plan, we get to see what that offense really looked like. A lot of people got questions about Julio. I feel like Julio gonna get the fly again, and he's definitely going. It's not gonna be what it's been the past few years.
Dude, yeah, Julio's got a lot of freedom to just
10 games
do his
with
thing
last year. He played 10 games with the Titans, but it was with the Titans. So.
Right.
You wasn't gonna see that much of electricity from him with that quarterback and that type of offense that's really driven. That's really driven with the running game. So, give me 10 games in Tampa minimum.
With Tom throwing him the ball instead of Tannehill.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
totally
a third
different
option on this team.
And that's what's
number one
dangerous.
is going to be, like we say every single week, health is going to be key for him staying on the field at all times. But bringing up health, I would want to pose a question because everybody got Tampa Bay going high, but they lose their center, Ryan Jensen.
That's right.
You know, how much is that going to affect that team? You know, right up the middle, the person handing off the ball or in shotgun. How much is the loss of a center going to affect that team?
That's a good point, Will.
He might need that chemistry between the handoff, but as long as he got that left tackle, which his name's escaped me right now, as long as they got that left tackle protecting his blind side, I think he's gonna be all right.
Tristan Wirfs, I believe.
Yep, that's exactly it. The first round pick from a couple years ago.
And they got a stout line, but man, that's a key piece. The center is
he's
probably
if not an All Pro, he's definitely a Pro Bowl player. One of the, but we'll see.
And
we'll see how that goes.
You know, he played every game last year. Like you say, that's just the center position, vastly underrated, never talked about, no glory, none of those things. But most definitely crucial to how the offense operates. So, and we got the schedule up on the screen. Week 5 there, we've got Julio going back. Whichever way that is, home or away.
He's not going to Atlanta until week 18. That's week 5. He will be playing Atlanta though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, going up against his former team, not necessarily the return into Atlanta. Something to highlight there. I mean, Packers always a tough one, Chiefs, but like you said, they split with the Saints, split with the Falcons. This division always seems to do that. A lot of 1-1. The Mercedes-Benz Dome, and wherever the Saints play, it's escaping me.
Tough
places to play is my point. It's always tough to go into New Orleans.
Yeah, he is 1-4 since joining the Bucks against the Saints. So maybe he I got him actually sweeping the Saints this year, finally getting over that Saints hump. He's won the division each of the last 2 seasons, I believe. Well, actually, no, they lost the division that first year with Drew Brees there. Because they went into New Orleans and beat them, and that's when Drew Brees was crying.
That's right.
Throwing the ball with his kids and Tom. But, yeah, I remember that image. But, the Saints kind of have owned the Buccaneers, but I think this year they finally get it done. So they finally get over the hump and win a division.
And you mentioned Tom Brady's talent at receiver. We didn't mention his name, but let's talk about Mike Evans. His just consistency, big man, big target, catches everything, can't be stopped, stays healthy for the most part. So we saw an interesting stat the other day. I pulled this. I actually pulled this off Reddit, but you guys seen it floating around. The stats in comparison between Davante Adams and Mike Evans, who were drafted in the same class and have right about, well, we'll get it here in just a second, but pretty surprising for me to see Mike Evans with. I mean, just talked about it last week, how good Davante Adams is, clear number 1 receiver in the league with his skill set and ability and those things.
Right.
And if we can't get to it, that's fine. We'll bring it back later. There we go. My guy. He's drafted in the same class. So what separates him? 63 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 1,000 yards. Evans, 8 straight seasons of 1,000. Davante, a little bit more injury prone over there. Has had a couple in and outs in Green Bay. But also, Mike Evans did that with Jameis Winston throwing him the ball.
I couldn't get it out fast enough. I was waiting for you to finish your spiel. But that's the most impressive highlight there is Jameis Winston throwing those balls to him.
But that's Mr. 55,000,
It is.
5,000, a lot of picks, a lot of yards. But the thing is about this stat, Davante Adams is now currently the best wide receiver. And he's been that way since the past, 4 years maybe.
Yep.
Looking at it since 2018, he's been the hands down number 1 wide receiver. But the thing between the Davante Adams and the Mike Evans is that Mike Evans came out the gate to be that guy. And he's been a model of consistency since he's been in the league. So in 2014, when they both got drafted, I believe Evans was a first-round pick. Wow, I don't know where did your boy go? Probably second, third round maybe. And like first year, 38
Yeah,
catches. Second year, 50, then 75, 74. Then like 2018 is when Vontae made
Really
that big
take
jump.
that bump.
Yeah, to 111. So he wasn't that dude. So the numbers being close is just what he's done these past few years versus the whole time since they've been in the league.
And that's what make Mike Evans even more impressive. 8 straight seasons, 1,000 yards since day one. He's been that dude. Come in and get it. Devontae, starting behind Jordy, Jennings, those things. But
he had to work his way up the ladder.
Yep. Just just one of those stats that when you see it, you get kind of, a little gut check, a little ho. Take Mike Evans every year in your fantasy league, that's for sure. But you mentioned it, Jameis Winston. So that'll drag me. It's a nice little segue over to who I got finishing second. They finished second last year in the NFC South at 9-8. I'm talking about the New Orleans Saints. Their new head coach, Dennis Allen, who is formerly their defensive coordinator. We all know Sean Payton went bye-bye. Dennis Allen stepping in. Dennis Allen's previous.
He was trying to get to Miami.
Yep. Dennis Allen's previous record, he was 8-22 as the head coach of the Raiders for 2 seasons. So not the best record as a head coach, but Dennis Allen has been the defensive coordinator, and the New Orleans Saints have had a very stout defense the last few years. That secondary's been good, that front edge, all of it around. So
I expect a major drop-off offensively, too.
Okay, why?
Because that man, Sean Payton, is gone. Now they finally have, what's my man, the Swiss Army knife. They finally got him legit.
Taysom Hill?
Yep, he got him a legit tight end now. He's no longer a backup quarterback or a spot filler, seat filler, whatever you want to call him. So they finally got him in that spot, but I don't know what Jameis is really going to be capable of coming off of an ACL. Then the year before is when he threw all those interceptions. Or actually, no, that's when he sat behind Drew Brees. So we still don't know what we're going to get with with him. I got him at 7-10. I do have them splitting one of the. No, I don't. I got them splitting one of the Carolina games, sweeping Atlanta, and getting swept by Tampa.
Gotcha.
Nothing too major. The defensive head coach isn't. I don't really think that's best in today's game.
Despite Bill Belichick being the best head coach.
I mean, he's like the anomaly. But we're going to see what they're going to do this year now that they don't have a coordinator, and there's going to be Matt Patricia and Joe Judge.
That's going to be odd.
And Bill Belichick is going to be calling the plays. And that buffer is gone, too, of Tom Brady. So we're going to really see what they're doing up there.
All right, Willie, where you got the Saints at, man? I got them 7-10 as well.
All the way across the board, 7-10.
Right.
I think this team is not going to. Their record is not going to reflect the talent that's on this team, because you got Jameis Winston, and that's always going to be a question mark. What kind of Jameis you're going to get? But you reinsert Michael Thomas back into that team.
Can't guard Mike.
Insert my man Chris Olave onto that team. So it's going to be a lot of guys that's going to be fighting for the ball. You got my man Alvin Kamara. Don't know what's going to happen with his court case. We know he can be bare knuckle guy, straight to the eye socket, orbital fracture and stuff like that. That's why he's going to be sitting out. Possibly, I don't even think they're talking about him as being suspended yet, but that's going to be one of the
more concerned about Deshaun right
question
now.
mark.
Yep.
Yeah, they focus on Deshaun Watson as far as litigations go.
Yeah, well, hearsay versus this man actually beat somebody to damn near
it's for
death.
sure.
That so what's more? We ain't got to get into that topic. What's really,
But they made some acquisitions on their defense too. The hometown right out here in Columbus, Taco Charleston, and got my man the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
Landry too.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry then came down, so that's another weapon.
I forgot that.
But I don't know if they'll be able to close. Like I stated earlier, they gonna have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL, and I just don't think that the schedule is going to be easy for them. They got to go to Minnesota. No, they got Minnesota coming in, but I don't know if they'll be able to take those boys.
Definitely not.
I think they start off kind of shaky. I got them losing to Atlanta, Minnesota, the Cardinals, losing to the Raiders, losing to Baltimore, the Rams.
You got to lose to the Cincy, don't you?
But of course. No, actually, I got the Saints possibly pulling that off against Cincy.
Okay.
I'm not gonna play no hometown favorite. Got them losing to the Rams, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, and Cleveland, and Philly at the end.
I got them beating Cleveland, and that's even with Deshaun.
All right.
That's tough, man. I don't know. With Deshaun, that's one thing. That's the reason I gave him that loss, because I figured that Deshaun would be back by that time.
That's a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, but 7 wins. 7 at
Tampa,
best. 8 at
Vikings,
best.
Cincy, Raiders, Baltimore. Who knows where the Steelers will be? Rams, Niners, Bucks again, Browns, Eagles. It's pretty tough sledding for the Saints. I did just pull up a quick tweet. Alvin Kamara's Las Vegas battery. The hearing has been moved back to late September. After that, he's probably facing some sort of suspension, but they won't get underway until at least late September, so it'll be iffy on whether or not he gets suspended for any chunk of the season. If he does, though, it looks like it would be mid to late season, so, you know,
He's their offense, too.
first couple months, it's going to be all Alvin Kamara.
And no matter what's going on with the weapons, Olave, Landry,
Dude,
Thomas,
they got talent, that's for sure. It's just going to be
they
Dennis
go
Allen
as
can figure it out.
Kamara go.
Yep.
And not with him running the ball, but just because he could, he's like a receiving back.
Yep. And, then that leads to, their quality of offensive line. When they've had a shitty offensive line for a couple seasons there, it's a lot of – you got to get him out in space. Whereas if they've got some dudes up front that can block a little more traditional run game, that opens up the playbook even more and also probably makes things easier on Jameis Winston, who doesn't handle pressure too well, as we know.
Hey, man, he got that LASIK surgery, so we'll finally get to see if he can see.
MVP? Calling it now?
No, heavens no.
5,200 yards, 45 TDs.
No.
26 picks.
Not with a defensive-minded head coach, no. It gotta be a person like Arians that just let it fly.
Yep. Nah, you got that for sure.
I think even Sean Payton had the handcuffs on him a little bit.
That was a
I think they're gonna let him go, man. I mean, at this point, you got nothing to lose. So
Yeah,
by
they
all
ain't got
means,
much
go
to
ahead.
win.
And Jameis, let's be honest, Jameis is a lot more fun if you just let it rip. He plays better when he's not trying to be controlled, right? If he just out there and school balls it. That's also when we get the best post-game interviews from Jameis Winston. The color commentary from him is
Don't let Jameis do too much talking, man.
dynamite.
Man, that boy was dancing on his crutches when they beat the Saints the game because he got injured against the Saints and he was dancing on his crutches, man.
Yep, that's what he do.
Hey,
We all love Jameis.
gotta love Jameis. Gonna still come out and try to get the dub for you.
That's debatable.
Hey, he gonna try, man.
I don't know if I love James.
All right. Who we got up next? On my roster, on my division.
Get the Falcons out the way.
Yep, in my division, I got the Falcons finishing third at 6-11. So Tampa Bay at 11-6.
Wow.
New Orleans at 7-10. Falcons right in there at 6-11.
Tisk.
Pretty middling team. Marcus Mariota, they've got a second-year head coach again in Arthur Smith. He was the former Titans offensive coordinator. I didn't know that. Cordero Patterson, I don't see as repeating as a running back. They've got a new rookie that's garnering some attention. But we got the schedule right there. Pretty easy schedule in my mind.
But they're trash. So
They got the Seahawks up there. The Browns early on might be Deshaun-less. The Chargers, November 9th. That's a tough one, but like we see, they got some NFC East opponents in there in the Washington Commanders. You got the Bears in there. Some big question marks there. That's a nice little stretch. Panthers, Bears, Commanders, Steelers. 4 winnable games. Cardinals late. I don't have faith in the Cardinals, so not the toughest schedule we've seen in the NFC South. A lot of question marks, though, a lot of unseen things. I just don't know, I don't got my ears down there in Atlanta. I don't know what the vibe is around Falcons training camp other than their rookie running back, Algier. I know he's
They
moving
got
up
Desmond
some
Ritter
fantasy
that's not
charts.
going to play no time soon. That's the dude from Cincy. Mariota, unless he beat out Mariota, but I think Mariota probably going to hold it down for now. They got Kyle Pitts coming off a great rookie season. If it wasn't for Jamar Chase stealing all the receiving headlines and Kyle Pitts coming on late, Kyle Pitts could have got some of that attention as well. He's really a baller. But I ain't got, that's my brother-in-law, my sister's team. This ain't Mike Vick no more. I got him at 4-13, nothing special. Yo, you got him third. I got him last in the division. I got him coming in last in the division behind the Saints.
Yep.
I got the exact same record, 4-13. Ryan keeps stating that they got the easiest schedule in the NFC South. They got the 9th hardest schedule in the NFL.
Oh, really?
So seeing how
stand
they
corrected.
got, they're going to lose to the Rams, lose to the Browns, whether it's Deshaun Watson or not, I think it's around that time where Deshaun may be making. They got the 5th game, so Deshaun still may be out.
No, we looking at week 7 for Deshaun, maybe.
Losing to the Buccaneers, losing to the 49ers, to the Bengals. I think they're split with the Panthers. Losing to the Chargers. I think the Commanders will be able to take them. I don't really have faith in the Squillers, but I know they can probably take Atlanta. Losing to the Saints, Ravens, Cardinals, and the Buccaneers. It's going to be a tough season down there in Atlanta.
It's a good thing that it's lit down there. So.
Nah, they'll get to 6. Come on.
Nah, not even close. I got Seattle. I just got their wins. I got them beating Seattle, splitting with Carolina, beating Chicago, beating Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Washington, Arizona.
You know, anything can happen on the football field. They might be able to steal a game against Arizona. They might be able to steal a game against Washington. You know,
they may steal that Browns game.
But no matter how many games they try to steal, it's not going to get them up to 7 wins.
Right. Nah, I don't even think they even get close to 500.
I said 6. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
Look at me being all bullish on the Falcons with 6 wins.
Nah, man.
You got the Falcons winning October 16th?
No.
I didn't think
It's probably a
But,
blowout.
dude, Ravens are going to be good. I got them winning week 17. Cardinals. Poo-poo Cardinals late season going to be bad.
You need the Cardinals to be bad.
I don't need anything. I just trust that they will be.
Yeah, you know
It would help.
Quarterback got a
It would help
bedtime,
me if the Cardinals are bad.
and he got a bedtime, a study time, and sometimes he get to take lunch.
Man, leave my boy Kyler alone, man.
Nah,
Just let the
man.
boy play.
Come on.
Man,
I would like to see Desmond Ritter play. That's what you mentioned.
don't
That's one of
like
the
none of that he
interesting
did
points.
this
I'm
summer.
kind of excited about that.
I think Ritter going to get a chance to play.
But,
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna get a chance.
and
to
that's
play. They're gonna be
the
so
other side
bad.
of it. I don't know a lot about the defense. I
Nah.
know they got a stud at linebacker,
They need to bring Dan Quinn back.
but so you know the
Kyle
Falcons.
Shanahan
All right,
to go with Kyle.
you got them
Pitts.
last, but I had the Panthers at 4-13.
I figured you had the Panthers there, but I didn't know it'd be that bad.
Let's see. Last season Carolina went 5-12.
Yep.
I got them downgrading. Too much confusion with Baker and Darnold. They're going to be playing that
There's
1
no
foot
confusion
in,
with Baker.
1 foot
No,
out,
they're
1
not.
foot
No, they're-
in, 1
No,
foot
they're
out.
not. That same. Remember that pick that he threw 3 more touchdowns that same day in practice.
Let me pull up this quote. Mind you, from practice. Joe Pearson from Carolina Panthers Twitter. Man, Panthers practice ends with Baker Mayfield firing a touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey. The last 10 minutes were high intensity. Woo! I got you fired up for Panthers this season, man.
Hey, man!
What a huge surprise.
Plant that flag, Baker. Plant that
You
flag.
got them going 8-9.
Throwing a touchdown pass to McCaffrey.
I mean, it's gonna one of these 7 wins that I got them getting. It's gonna be a touchdown pass to McCaffrey for game too.
Too, right.
What?
So-
I got them coming in maybe 3rd, but could tie because I got both Panthers and the Saints at 7 and 10.
All right.
But I got the Panthers. They had 2000. You know, they got Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, some respectable receivers, and if Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy, he's still a threat in that backfield no matter what. Baker just got to be able to hold on to the ball and stay healthy. He's going to start week 1, hands
Sam,
down.
right?
No,
sorry,
it's not
man.
even close.
Same
know-
week 1.
No, I just looked
not
at Sam
even
Darnold's
close.
stats last year. No, it is terrible.
Going to focus on last year. We're talking about this year, man.
All right, well,
It's the
Steve,
new
you got,
Sammy.
You got
No,
the
there ain't
schedule
no
up.
Sammy.
There it is, week 1. There's the brown helmet.
They get it.
Who's going to be there? Baker? Baker starting
Baker gets
against
the dub versus Browns.
Get out of here. Sam Darnold takes the L against the Browns.
Not even close.
I got them winning against the Browns.
I
It's
got
gonna,
him.
it's gonna be Deshaun Watson-less Browns. That defense may be able to, the Denzel Ward may pick on Baker enough to shake him up, and the Myles
He
Garrett is
picked on him enough
definitely
in
going to
practice.
come.
All right, I got one. Week 1, will a running back rush for over 150 yards?
Yeah.
Who will it be?
It
Nick
ain't gonna be
Chubb.
Christian.
I was going to say McCaffrey probably won't rush for 150, but
But total
combined,
yards.
you think somebody breaks 150? Combined McCaffrey, you think Chubb runs for just 150?
Yeah.
All
Or
right.
close to it.
Rack it up. Get them on your fantasy teams now. Place your bets.
Because I
This is a
just feel
bunch of
like they're
yards.
going to do a lot of running the ball with. Well, they already do a lot of running the ball anyway, which I'm interested to see how that offense will look once Deshaun gets there. But for now, coming out the gate with Brissett, there's going to be a lot of run game.
I
Basically,
think,
the Baker Mayfield game plan.
and either, well, and that's what Carolina's going to do. It's going to be the Christian McCaffrey show. A little bit, some of the reports I've seen is, he's full blown, F-14 ready to go. Just
That's today.
Attack
We
with
just need to see
CMC.
what he's looking like week 1.
I mean, and how much does that hinder your team? Like, we know that you're going to go to McCaffrey. He's not the strongest and biggest back in the NFL. So by grounding and pounding on McCaffrey the whole time, I think you stack the box a little bit. You don't even have to stack the box because you got Robbie Anderson on the outside, but
DJ Moore as well.
You still got to hope that Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold can make these plays. So you're going to go run heavy. You're going to have the flats out there with McCaffrey. I think you just kind of maybe spy on him and have your safeties play too high and just let Baker or Sam make the plays that's going to make them win the games. I got them coming in at 7-10. Once again, their schedule is kind of they're the 12th in the NFL, but their big games, I don't know if they can win those key games.
Nah, I got 7-10 as well.
4-13, you just laid it out, man. Stack the box against McCaffrey, make Baker or Darnold beat you. That leads you to 4-13.
I got him starting off 3-0 as well, though, like last year. At the end, it's a tough sledding from there.
But
not winning again until Atlanta.
This does make me want to draft Christian McCaffrey more. Thank you. There you go. We got schedule up.
Yeah, but he might not last the whole season, so it's really not.
You can say that literally about any player.
Nah, I mean, but when you have a history, as far as
you got to move on.
Yeah, injuries can happen, but if you got a history of being hurt, I mean, just saying, you got to kind of throw that as an asterisk in there.
No, I ain't worried about it. He's gonna flip the script.
Yep, and
I like that. And San Francisco's got all the NFC South. Man, that bodes well for my guys and the Bengals. They've been up in here too.
For sure.
Seahawks running up in there. Ooh, December 11th. That'll be a bad game. Carolina and Seattle.
Yeah,
But,
I got
they run
Carolina
into the
definitely.
Rams, Bucks, Cardinals.
And it's at
All right,
Seattle.
maybe they'll go 5-12. Maybe they'll surprise me. I'm laying low on it though. Carolina Panthers last in the division, 4-13.
And
If
that's
I'm
for
wrong, I'm wrong.
Between the Panthers and the Falcons, one of them is going to come in last.
So what you got the Saints going?
I had the Saints.
You got them second at
yeah, I got them at
7-10.
17 also.
Yep. Like we mentioned, we were talking before the show off
You
camera.
got the Panthers. The Panthers could be second in your rankings.
It's the
so.
Buccaneers and a bunch of below 500 teams.
Yeah, man, some duds.
So that's what we're saying. It's kind of boring when you're talking about some bad teams, but hopefully we laid out enough headlines, enough storylines, keep you interested in a little bit. You mentioned Christian McCaffrey and all of his injury history. So I want to talk about him as a potential comeback player of the year. You like Christian McCaffrey there? I certainly do. He's played last year. He only played, I think, 5 games, 6 games. And if he comes back on a tear and does his thing like he does, we're talking 2,000 scrimmage yards, 20 touchdowns. And if you're looking at the Carolina Panthers getting to 7 wins or whatever, it's going to be a lot of Christian McCaffrey doing it. So you guys like him as an option there?
I mean, he's definitely an option, but, I mean, there's so many guys that's going to be coming back. You got to look at, like I said, my guy Chris Godwin. You look at Chase Young up with the Commanders. It's going to be guys that's coming back and that's going to be playing hard, fighting for the comeback player of the year. But, of course, you got to throw McCaffrey's name up there because he's the go-to guy in Carolina. But just like I keep saying, is that going to be too much focus on McCaffrey to let him really get out and do his thing?
Well, we could probably, we'd pull up the stats from 3 years ago, and that's what he did, and see where they finished. But, times have changed. Head coach getting his second season, third season with Matt Rule. I'm not real sold on Matt Rule either. That's a big question mark for me. I'm not sure if he's out of his league or not.
So the other candidates that could possibly give Christian McCaffrey a run for his money would be Derrick Henry at plus 375.
This is comeback player of the year odds?
Yep, comeback player of the year. Jameis Winston plus 500. Then Christian McCaffrey at plus 7. Then Michael Thomas plus 1,300. Daniel Jones plus 1,300. Mitch Trubisky, Baker Mayfield, Marcus Mariota, Chase Young, Deshaun Watson, J.K. Dobbins, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Deshaun Watson, dude, I did not think about him as a comeback player of the year candidate. That is filled with the NFC South, by the way. Mike Tom, Jameis, I was surprised to see it plus 500.
He's second on this list. I mean, he did tear his ACL last year. Number
yeah,
one is
Derrick
Derrick Henry, but he came back last year. I mean, he was in the playoff game, and
it was a stellar defense that shut him down. He wasn't really.
No, but I'm saying though, how can you be eligible for comeback player of the year if you came back?
There was only one game that he came back.
Came back.
Well,
he didn't.
That's
miss the
debatable.
season.
There you go.
I mean, and they got him favored.
Well,
I
the
think he
workhorse.
has
He
such
must
a.
qualify.
I didn't even.
maybe it's number of games
He
missed.
still finished like top 5 or top 7 in
Maybe
the
it's
rushing.
number of games missed, though. If you miss more than half the season, you can qualify as comeback player of the year. We'd have to look that up. But all right, comeback player of the year.
Well,
too.
Derrick Henry did miss 9 games last year with a broken bone in his foot.
Which is crazy. More than
But
Jameis is hurt too. Jameis rolled his ankle or something in practice, so
And if
shouldn't be
Jameis,
anything bad.
that's why
but
Jameis and Mike Thomas is on this list. Yeah, looking at the top.
I'm not real bullish on Mike Tom this year. I'm just not certain. I love the dude.
Oh yeah, man,
And his
easy
talent and his
peasy,
skills,
man.
but-
My comeback player of the year is Baker Mayfield at plus 1400.
Sweet.
And Harry can go to commercial.
Throw that
If the
money
Panthers
in.
is 7-10, they won 5 games, and then
I ask you this every single. Why you so high on Baker Mayfield,
Bro.
man?
he ain't played that flag.
That was back in college.
Hey,
You going off his college
That's
days.
that is a different time and
hey,
era.
listen here, man. You playing a flag in my horseshoe, you want me over.
It was a bad day in Ohio. That was
Dude,
it.
right? Why would that win you over?
Nah.
And I wasn't even out here.
I think we showed up that game.
I
man.
just
He
thought it was
they
dumb
just
because
won.
I hate Oklahoma. But
I mean, that's understandable.
you
nah.
mentioned it, Will. We're gonna head to a quick commercial break.
Baker
We've been talking
Mayfield
too long.
take the plus 1400. What that mean? I bet how much and I get how much?
That means you bet $100 and you win $1,400.
Yeah, that's
or
a good-
$10 and win $140.
I got you. So yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna lose whatever money you put down for that. So.
But dude, that's the beauty of it, man. $10 and Baker might make you 140, and
Christian
then you can
McCaffrey
buy a
said-
Baker jersey with that.
McCaffrey not gonna be able to have a good season without Baker.
That's debatable. All right, we're going to commercial break, fam. Roll that. We'll be back shortly.
Give this man a
That's
break.
facts. His last good year came to Cam.
All right, welcome back in, gang. We left off in the middle of Baker talk, as always. That's kind of a tradition around here. This is what we do. Baker or Darnold, who's gonna get the job? But as I mentioned earlier, Dennis
Baker, right?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator for the Saints. I've been pretty bullish on the Saints defense, especially as a fantasy owner. Ball hawks, they cause a lot of turnovers at Cam Jordan. some sacks on that side. So my question is, it also brings up Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles, former defensive coordinator. So defensive rings true in the South. You got to stop the offense of Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, who last year I think were the top 3 scoring offense in the league. So my question to you guys is, who's going to have the best defense in the NFC South? You got the Saints, you got the Bucks, or the Falcons, or the Carolina Panthers, and Matt Rule.
The Bucks defense is going to get you the big games. I wouldn't really like Honey Badger going to the Bucks instead of the Saints, because he could have went to a real contender, and that would have been a nice piece, because I think they could use help on that in that secondary. But from top to bottom, and from the front four, back the linebackers, and from Cam Jordan to Demario Davis and Lattimore, I like the Saints at all 3 levels. Their defense is going to have to be one of the better defenses in the league for them to even stand a chance out there. Take the ball away from the other teams as easy as possible, because you never know if your quarterback will get the ball to the other team. So I think the Saints will statistically have the better defense, but the Bucks is just going to be so high power on both sides of the ball, and that it won't matter.
All right, good. Good offense is a good defense, and that Bucks defense last year was, a little bit underrated, and they sure showed up. Want to get it done. That one that stopped Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. What about you, Willie? What do you think? You agree?
Man, this NFC South, just look at everybody. The defenses they're subpar. You look at who they're going to go up against, if they're going to be able to make stops. But I'm going to roll with, like my man Bay said, I don't like that we agree in a lot. But, hey, it is what it is on this division. But like you said, you got Lattimore, you got Cam Jordan, you got the Honey Badger that has showed up. I think that Saints defense is going to give some teams some problems.
DBU, I did see Ohio State officially labeled DBU. Marshawn Lattimore, though, bad dude.
For sure.
All right, well, I guess we're all in agreement. I'll take the Buccaneers, man.
That's the easy pick. Go with the Bucks, but
they're
the more experienced team.
I think the Saints are going to be the clear runaway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what
I'm going to say statistic. I think the Bucks will have a little better year this season. They'll just put it together. And I also think some front office stuff, some coaching things, the sideline, those things. I think the Bucks are a little bit better run organization and team. New Orleans in the midst of some changes. I'm not sure if Sean Payton, makes that big a difference. Probably just in general in the locker room he does. And so we'll see what happens on that defensive side with Dennis Allen as head coach. Might be a little too much for the young man, but
how strong could that defense be if we're saying they're the best in the NFC South, but we all got to finish at 7-10?
I got
offense.
Can't score enough points.
That's it.
It's gonna come down. Yeah, it might really come down to that, because I think it's gonna have to be a lot of nip and tuck games just for that defense. It's not like that offense lacks the weapons, or I just don't see what type of style they're gonna run. I don't think it's gonna be high flying offense, even though they got a quarterback that could possibly sling it. I just don't think they're gonna allow him.
Excuse me.
I don't even who's their OC.
Will, you just said it, though, man, and that's why you go put $50 on the Saints to win the NFC South at plus 360 and turn that $50 into like 175. Is because if they got the best defense in the NFC South, that's a good chance that they can win that division. And maybe we're just not giving them enough credit, maybe short-siding them on the point-scoring abilities, but, buddy, you said it right there, dude. And
I definitely got them with the asterisks to potentially come out and surprise a lot of teams.
Maybe I'm doing that when I go home just to show you guys. Let's show it how it's done, man. Put your money where your mouth is. Surprise. All right.
Nah.
Okay. Well, Saints, I'll take the Bucks. Bucks going to show up with the strong defense. But let's move aside with that. Let's get on to some fun, lively topics. Let's get the Kevin Durant saga, the love story, or let's see, would it be a heartbreak story?
No.
I can't stand the coach story. That's what he's saying, man.
I told you that. Who did I blame after they lost?
All right, so all right, real quick. Yeah, it's here real quick. The overview is obviously this Kevin Durant drama is still going on. It looked like he rescinded his trade offer from the Nets. But a couple days ago, he went directly to the owner, Joe Tsai, and said, you either trade me or you fire our head coach and our GM. And typically, if you're an employee of a company and you say, hey, I'm either out or the boss is gone, something's got to give. And if you got the tweet up, we'll see Joe Tsai's reply, who's the owner of the Nets.
Yeah, you're right.
And he tweeted out and said, I stand by. There you go. Our front office and coaching staff have my support. We'll make decisions. And then right below it, for those of you out there, follow the Iron Sheik on Twitter because that's awesome. Let me know if I need to suplex anyone, Bubba. Don't let him push you around like you're a jabroni. Iron Sheik causing trouble on Twitter. I love it, dude. Bringing it back. And if you don't know who the Iron Sheik is, go YouTube some old 1970, 1980 wrestling footage because it's fantastic. But what do you guys make of that, man? What's Kevin going to do? What's going to happen?
I think the owner is now stuck between a rock and a hard place because Kevin can't do. I don't think he's the type to sit out. But in this day and age, you never know with anyone who will do anything. But I don't think he's the type to sit out. Me personally, I still feel like if I'm the owner, I'm going to fire the head coach anyway. Not just because Kevin said so, just because the head coach lacks the coaching style or ability to put my players in winning situations when a lot of that Boston series came down to execution. And it's not because the players didn't execute necessarily. It's because the coach didn't draw up the correct plays or draw up any plays for them to be able to execute some type of game plan down the stretch to win those games. That's also, I feel like, what happened last year again or 2 years ago in the Big Toe series when it came down to that miraculous shot.
Gotcha.
But it's other situations within that series that Steve Nash should have drew up that could have prevented it even going 7
You don't
games.
think Steve Nash is the right fit?
He's not equipped to be a head coach, and we know he didn't have any head coaching background. He retired as a player and became a head coach.
He knows the game.
Yeah, he knows the game.
Give it a shot.
Even his MVPs is fluky, almost just as fluky as Jokic.
All right,
but I think he should have been gone.
Gotcha. Will, thoughts?
He's going, man. It's just about a win. Who is he going to go for? I keep saying he's going to go with that spider trade. Whenever you see Donovan Mitchell get moved, I think Kevin's going to be around that same time, if not in that same trade. It's going to take a couple of players to bulk up. You can't just go player for player with Kevin Durant. But it's just a matter of time. If he keeps coming out, he's going to the, Bay said last week they had a meeting. Meeting happened. He came out, said, I can't stand the coach. This is why I want to leave. It's either him or me. I think it's going to be more of Kevin getting his way and getting his way out. And you seen Kyrie saying the same thing. He can't stand over the front office and can't stand the coaching. So
his quote was from his team that he does not hate the head coach or owner. It's not he wasn't in support of them either, but he
just doesn't hate them.
Yeah, he just doesn't hate them. That's what he said.
Hate's a strong word for Kyrie.
And that's
he
still
said he's about love, peace, and acceptance. So love, peace, and hair grease.
Do you hate your boss? Nah, man, I don't hate him. But I don't
like
playing
my manager
for him.
a lot too. That MFer is a goddamn MFer.
Well, Joe Tsai, the owner, he's standing by the two and that's exactly what you need to say as the owner. Of course, I'm in charge of these two idiots, so of course I stand by these two idiots until that crux comes when he's going to throw them under the bus and stick with KD. Because I agree, I don't think Steve Nash is the right coach for the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know who.
I don't think he's meant to be a
that
coach
is.
at all.
And that's one of those things. He just knows ball. He was a stud. Give him a shot, see how it goes. Ain't working out, especially with a personality like KD. So, again, here we are at the same fork in the road. Time will tell. Check in next week because we're going to have another update after Kevin Durant says something else crazy on Twitter.
What, next week?
Next Wednesday? I bet that.
I think week one, I guess the NBA is not week one.
Yeah, right.
But game one, opening night, he will be in that uniform.
All right.
Because Brooklyn is going to
Opening night, will he be?
Opening night, I give it all the way up until just about
Christmas.
All-Star break is when the cutoff is around that time. He may be gone before the end of this year, though.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
He'll be in a jersey week one, though, is what you're hearing from
A lot
here.
of the players he's able to be traded for will be eligible for trade around September, November, December around in there.
And whether or not Steve Nash is a head coach come week 1 of the NBA season, we'll see. But it's up in water, man. It's a mess in Brooklyn. Don't want any part of that, especially with all that talent. That is not a good look.
Championship-ready team, and they're about to blow it all up.
Yep.
That's what makes me almost want to retract my last statement of, him being there at the beginning of the season. I think they want to get rid of what the distractions they got, go into the season with a better mindset, because if you continue to have that lack of focus and what's going on in the media, you can't really play with Kevin. Kevin doesn't want to be there. Just get rid of it. Why continue to hold him hostage and he don't even want to play?
Dude, you gotta clean your house out. You gotta gut it and move on.
Yeah, if they're gonna gut it the right way. It starts with the head coach.
Cut that. But see, that's the guy in charge of firing and hiring ain't gonna fire and hire himself.
He said he has some things to think about. I mean, he should get some advice for some other owners who's been in this type of situation that made this move. They brought Phil Jackson back. Kobe got that man up out of there. The dude before that.
There you go. Cut that clip. Send it to Joe.
Frank Vogel just got fired. He just took the. I mean, somebody got to be the fall guy.
You got it.
It's usually the head coach, but maybe Steve Nash is real cool. I don't know.
All right.
But we'll see how it goes. I still say he suits up as a Brooklyn Net next season.
All right. Yeah, that's the general
I'm sticking
consensus.
with that until it happens.
Still a mess, that's for sure. So keep tuning in. Every Wednesday, that's Debatable. We'll keep you updated on the KD saga. And real quick, I do want to make a little announcement for our followers out there. On Friday, if you follow Yamo Media Columbus on all our socials, they're going to make an announcement. We've got a new show starting here on the network. It's going to start next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be an OHSAA affiliated high school football preview show coming up for the week. It's going to be featuring local legend Marty Bannister here on the Yamo Media Columbus Network every Wednesday at 6:30. Ohio high school football preview. We're not real sure about some of the extra details yet, but stay tuned for Yamo Media. We're going to make an announcement this Friday, which is August 12th at noon. So stay tuned for that. Going to be awesome having Marty and the crew in here talking high school hoops before we get rolling on That's Debatable every Wednesday night. Just want to plug that real quick. Keep y'all tuned in and abreast of what's going on the Yamo Media Network. And before we close with the show, we're going to hit the WNBA playoffs. So for those fans out there probably not tuned into the WNBA, there's a lot of action going on. It is the end of the regular season. The playoffs start next Wednesday, the 17th. There are 2 spots still left open for playoff contention, and there are still 5 teams competing for those 2 spots. I think there's about 3 or 4 games left in the regular season for each team. Sue Bird just got injured this week. She's going to miss the rest of the regular season. Oh, excuse me. Not Sue Bird. I meant Diana Taurasi for the Mercury. She's out the rest of the week for the regular season. The Sue Bird announcement I had was that she had her
been in shambles this year anyway.
She had her last game at home in Seattle spoiled by the Las Vegas Aces, who are my favorite to win the ship this year.
Likewise.
I think they're everybody's favorite. Well, not my favorite, but I think they're like the actual favorites, aren't they?
They are not. They have power rankings right now. And I don't have the odds, but I was looking at it earlier. The Chicago Sky are the favorite. They've got the best record in the WNBA. I think they're 25-9. Las Vegas Aces are 24-10. And the Connecticut Sun are 24-10 as well, I believe. But Seattle Storm, tough, man. Sue Bird, she's retiring. This is the end of an era. The legend's going out, and she loses her last home game. Always.
She ain't finished yet. The same way Coach K walked off.
Yep.
Coach K said they weren't done. Sue said the exact same thing. I'm not done yet. I'll see you in the playoffs.
And speaking of playoffs, I like that right there. I found this earlier. These are ESPN's BPI chances of the first-round matchups as we stand right now, with those last 2 spots being filled by the Atlanta Dream and the Phoenix Mercury, taking on the Aces and the Sky. But obviously those 2 can change. The Dream and Mercury have not clinched. The other 6 teams have.
Mercury, like I said, it's been a real bad season for them. Also, free Brittany Griner.
Yep.
It's just starting with that. Their season, like I say, has been in shambles, arguing on the sidelines. Diana Taurasi's not hurt. I don't even remember what happened to my girl, Skylar. She either just fell off the map or just totally because.
But you mentioned the tough. It's been a rough season, so it would be that much better and that much more of a good storyline if the Mercury can win a couple games here this next week, clinch a playoff spot, get into the playoffs.
So what, lose first round?
Well, hey, gets Taurasi back in and playing in the playoffs. It brings some more attention, gives some more voice to the Free Britney Griner movement, and that's still a thing, actively in process. She just got sentenced to 9 years in jail in Russia. Joe Biden says he's going to maybe try and do some things. Justin Bieber, I think, even chimed in. The U.S. State Department is still one of the strongest government entity in the world. So hopefully we can make some deals happen. But, I would love to see that. But just with them in the playoffs, it would add that much more to, the movement and let people get their voice out and things.
I am with you there.
But
I think they're going to support Britney whether Mercury's in there or not.
I agree.
So who you got in the championship? You said you like the Aces to get there for sure to win it all?
I like the Aces, man. I like Becky Hammond. She's got that offense open up and flowing. Aja Wilson's playing lights out.
Yeah. Is she still MVP front runner right now?
For sure.
I'd have to look at the odds, but she's right up there. I know Stewie's having a hell of a year.
Yeah. Not too far
Sylvia
back.
Fowles, man, she's been a beast.
They're 3 games back, though. But
and I also just need to get myself an Aces jersey. That'd be cool.
Hey,
they win the ship, I'll buy some gear. But 22's that was my old basketball number. I'd take a Aja Wilson jersey.
I got Chicago Sky versus the Storm.
Okay.
I like the Storm. I like Sue. I like what's my other girl?
And see, I'd like to see the Storm and the Aces, but it depends on how the bracket kind of draws out. But what the Fever right up there at the top, or not the Fever, the Chicago Sky.
Oh yeah, that's right. Duh. Breonna Stewart, yeah, I'm definitely going with Breonna Stewart and them to make it out the West.
Yep.
And of course, the defending champs, my GOAT, Candace Parker. I gotta go with them. I'm gonna just go with them to win it all again. Just I don't know.
Back to back.
I don't know if that's playing it safe or is that the tough, or if that's just a tougher choice. But I'm going with the Chicago side.
Dude, it's always tough to repeat, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know when the last time that was done. Probably the LA Sparks or something 10 years ago, the WNBA. Yeah. But what about you?
I'm going with the Aces, man. I like Aja Wilson. Her mid-range game is phenomenal. You would think that she's just going to battle in the paint and just get physical with you, which she can do. But her mid-range game is the one thing that's really exceptional for her. Then you throw in Kelsey Plum. She's going to come in and help too. But it's going to be who's going to just go ahead and finish and knock the teams out instead of continue to allow teams that can't really contend with you. But you never know.
Say it, man. We always say, don't play with your food.
Don't play with it. Just go
I
ahead
know
and
where
get
you
it
was
done.
going.
But they're not head over heels above the competition, though. I don't know.
That's the thing. It's real tight at the top.
From start to finish, they have been at the top out west. But the Storm has been on their heels, and then the Chicago has been. They've been fighting to get to that top spot, and it looks like they've been holding it down.
The way they just played this past Sunday against the Storm in Seattle, it wasn't even. You can see the complete dominance. With Sue Bird, her last game, the fans sold the arena out, but the Aces still came and took care of business, and it didn't look like it was too hard for them.
The Aces averaging almost 90 points a game. I was gonna say their defense isn't that great, averaging or giving up about 84, but the Western Conference a little bit more open. They push the ball. That's how they roll.
I don't know. I think Chicago definitely coming out the East no matter what, even if whoever they face.
I'll take Connecticut. I'm going to take the finals. The finals. I'm going to predict Las Vegas Aces and Connecticut Sun in this season's WNBA championship. I'm going to call it now, write it down, so I'll tweet it later so we know.
To answer your guys' question, the last team was the Sparks to win back-to-back 0-1, 0-2. And then the team before that was the Comets. They won 4 years in a row, 97, 98, 99, and 2000.
WNBA. Right?
Where was the Comets? What city were they in?
Houston.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Damn, 28.
Thompson, was that Cooper? That was a phenomenal team. That was the beginning of WNBA though.
Then it's four teams that have single championships, and the Chicago Sky just got their first one last year. So they get their second one this year. I'm counting on it. Back-to-back Finals MVP, Candace Parker, doing it for her hometown team.
Ace is up. Asia Wilson dealing from the bottom of the deck like a badass. That's what I'm rolling with.
For sure.
All right, that's all the WNBA news I got, I think. I'm excited for it, though. I haven't been watching much basketball lately. I need to get back into it. I was actually shooting hoops over at the school the other day just because. Yeah. I got a school close by, so I just walked over there and was just, get outside, shoot some hoops. So tune in next week. WNBA playoffs start Wednesday, September 17th. So obviously we'll be talking about it on That's Debatable. Look forward to Sam Darnold starting week 1 as the Carolina Panthers quarterback.
We're going to be Baker, man. They ain't make that trade for no reason.
And the Browns preseason, I think, is Friday night. Because I think I heard that on 97.1 The Fan on the way home. So if you're in the Columbus area, the Ohio area, you can catch Browns preseason on the radio on 97.1 The Fan.
Yeah,
We're just Deshaun allowed to play in the preseason,
Arizona.
ain't he?
Is that tomorrow?
It's Friday also.
Okay. What?
Is Deshaun allowed to play in the preseason?
He is allowed. All right. AD, my man, with the figures. All right, pitching.
Yeah, so.
That's going to be your only chance to see Deshaun this season. Is going to be in the preseason.
For one series, probably.
I might go to that looking at Tampa. I know it's random, but Tampa goes to Cleveland this year, so.
All right.
It sucks that Cincinnati goes to Tampa. That's the game I would rather see.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
But nah, that Cleveland.
Save your money, man. Save your money. Don't go see Cleveland.
All right, that's Debatable road trip. Pick a game.
that's-
Let's get a bus. We'll go.
I mean, we could do that off cam. It don't matter.
Right. All right, that's all we got.
Where's our Cleveland game?
It's a happy Wednesday here. The Yamo Media Studios from Columbus, Ohio. This is That's Debatable. I'm Ryan Dietrich, Jeremiah Bays, Will Ward,
Sir.
Adam Dell behind the deck as
that's,
always.
November 27th.
We appreciate you fans tuning in
Deshaun
right
is
after,
playing.
right after Thanksgiving. We'll
Yeah.
have some time off. Maybe make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, gang. For That's Debatable. Have a good night.